Haley, and I'm here today with
Nathan.
and we are at Ironton Wizardfest, and we are going to get started. We are going to be doing the Q&As today and the meet and greets with the celebrity guests. So we're going to go ahead and get started.
We became fast friends. We've had them back several times. This particular individual hasn't been back for a couple of years because we took a year off last year. But I'd like to welcome to the stage the one and only Wallace Hamad.
Hi, Wally.
That was quite an introduction. Thank you.
Well, I had to talk about myself first. You taught me that.
Hi.
Has anybody here met Wally yet?
Yes.
Yeah? I guarantee these lights make it a little hard to see, but I guarantee if you saw your face, you'd probably know your name. It's an incredible memory.
I can't see. Jen?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I wanted to schedule Wally, can I call you Wally?
Yeah, of course you can. You can call me anything.
We won't go there. So one of the reasons I scheduled Wally to have a Q&A session and a discussion today on his own, even though we have 4 actors here this year, is because Wally is unique in that, yeah, he was part of the Potter series, the Fantastic Beasts, right? But he has a very dynamic range of experiences in acting. So you have voiceover acting, you have video game voice acting, which is extensive. And then also he's currently on the big screen that you can go see right now in Beetlejuice.
Woo!
Right? Yeah.
Tim Burton, super affable, very nice, a real actor's director. He doesn't say very much. He doesn't need to. He has this incredible ability. Like, you can tell that he can see every scene in the movie in his head already. And so your job as the actor is to just slot into his vision.
How much work is acting? Because you may have a day on set.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more leading up to it. And
Yeah.
So can you talk about that? Like, what is life like as a full-time actor?
Oh. Should I just burst into tears? Would that be? I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones, right? Like, I get to work fairly often and on some really cool stuff. But the day-to-day is, auditioning constantly, being rejected constantly, being the second best choice, which pays no money.
You get it or you don't.
It fluffs your ego for about 30 seconds, and then you're, oh, no, but not me. Almost me. Yay. I made a decision a few years ago that if I wasn't going to be able to translate every audition into a job, then my job was to enjoy every audition. Every opportunity you get to act as an actor is often an unpaid one because it's just an audition. And so if you can't make that spark joy for you, then you shouldn't be doing the job. And I really love auditioning now. And I mean, I'm auditioning for such a wide-ranging variety of things, like it'll be a TV show or a feature film or a video game or an animation or a radio play or theater. Literally no 2 days are alike. And because of the language thing, I audition for a really wide range of characters in multiple languages. So it's almost like it's like gym for the brain, The Aurors, we got cast as 8 of us. Actually, it was really fun because our callback, they kind of pre-selected from our initial auditions who they thought might work together as a pack. And they got us all in, and we spent an afternoon with David Yates and Fiona Weir, the casting director, and workshopped the material. And the idea for the Aurors was that they were kind of like a supercomputer, so they were all interconnected. So as one Auror would start a sentence, the next Auror would finish it because they all had like this overarching understanding of everything that was happening at any given time. In our callback, we all had to actually just do that. A lot of just trying to finish each other's sentences and things like that while they filmed us all. And David Yates was directing it and kind of giving us different ways of interpreting the material. But it was very precise, and it needed a very specific cadence because it couldn't sound computery because it was the 1920s, but it had to sound like it was something supernatural. At the end of the day, they brought in a bunch of supporting artists, extras, placed them behind us, made us stand in front of them, and then David Yates went, "We have our oars." And all the actors were like, "What, is that an offer? Is that legally binding? What does that mean?"
Am I gonna get paid?
Wait, can I get that in writing? In the UK, they drive you to and from set, even for like something like a callback. So we then get into our very fancy cars and get driven home thinking, I think we just got a job offer. Then nothing. 2 weeks of silence. No phone calls, no emails, us calling our agents up being like, anything on Fantastic Beasts, please? Nothing. And then randomly, I remember so specifically getting the phone call where I was standing in London, right next to a bridge, so I could have gone either way. And she was like, your Fantastic Beasts offer came through. Are you available for the next 3 months? I'm like, yeah.
Thank you for coming, Wally.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This was fun.
And thank you for coming to Wizardfest, especially so often, because Wally works a lot. He doesn't do really kind of any other conventions. So we're the choice.
Hell yeah. To those of you I've met in the audience, thank you for always coming out to support us. You're amazing. You make this event what it is. And to those of you I haven't met yet, we're in there. Come say hello, please.
Thank you all for coming out, and we do hope you stop by and talk to Wally, James, Adrian, and Rowan.
So in 2019, that was our second year, and we decided to throw a Hail Mary pass and start bringing actors into the mix. We knew Comic-Cons did it and all that, but it's like, how can this little town in Southern Ohio get this to happen? This crazy lovely lady that is now a true friend of mine, Kay, was silly enough to actually respond, and because of that, we've now had James and Wally and Chris here a few times. They're kind of regulars of ours. But this year we're introducing a couple of new folks, and I'm gonna have the new folks and James all come together because, let's face it, who doesn't want to see a Gryffindor panel, right? I want you to welcome to the stage, hopefully my new friends. I haven't had to spend much time with them because I'm running around, but Mr. Rowan Go-To-Bed, who plays young Sirius Black. Back in the US for the first time since a while, and we'll talk to him about that, is Mr. Adrian Rollins, James Potter. And I want to welcome back to the Wizardfest stage for the fourth time, and definitely not the last, Mr. James Payton, played Frank Loudon. Kind of going down the row, looking back, what impact has it been on your life to be just part of Potter?
Well, we're going with the big questions straight away.
Why not?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, obviously I'm probably slightly different in that I was very young when I got cast. I was only 12 when I did do the film. So I've now, I've been in Harry Potter longer than I was not in Harry Potter. Which is kind of scary to think about. The funny thing is in the UK, obviously Harry Potter is so ubiquitous. Like everyone knows Harry Potter, even if there's people who don't necessarily like it, everyone knows it to a great extent. So, you always walk around, and I teach quite a lot. I do a lot of sort of facilitation work now as an actor and as a director. And the number of kids who sort of don't even know that I was in the films, but still are coming in with like their Harry Potter themed pencil cases and Harry Potter themed t-shirts and everything. It's sort of this weirdly surreal moment of being like, I was in that, but also I am me, and sort of that separation that I find really interesting.
Like coming here today and meeting so many lovely people who are very happy to meet us is lovely. You know, somebody going, oh, it's James Potter, and I'm like, where? It's like, and I go, oh, it's me. And that's a very kind of surreal thing, because, you know, one gets on with your life, which involves the day-to-day minutiae of everybody's life, and that really is pretty much the baseline for me, and probably most of us, you know. It probably seems very glamorous and all that. So it's nice to come here and feel like you're somebody, and to see the love of the Harry Potter world. And you know, I think for me that's grown actually because of meeting you guys and seeing what it means to people, and it's very humbling, really, just to be a small cog in that. We're coming together for a lovely thing here, and in this world, that ain't a bad thing. So I can't really quantify what it means for me, but it's very surreal. I can't get my head around it, but I'm very, very happy to be here and just be a part of it.
I agree with what those two said. I shot Order of the Phoenix in 2006, so what's that, 18 years ago. Every acting job I've done since, and there's been 3. There's been a fair few. Every job I've done since, somebody has come up to me and said, James, why do I know you? And inevitably, they're a Potter fan, and you say, you're a Harry Potter fan? They're like, yeah, I grew up with it, I love it, you know, my kids watch it now. I go, do you know Neville? And they go, yeah, of course I know Neville. They say, do you know his dad? And they go, oh! Every job, and I was in one movie for 30 seconds 18 years ago, and here I am in the tri-state area for the 4th time. So if you ask me what it means to me, it's everything.
A shot that wasn't included in the films that you wish would have been?
Well, for James and Lily, we shot about 3 weeks in the Potter cottage with a little baby Harry, and we were performing little magic tricks for him, and seemed to get, and there was another Voldemort who was not Ralph Fiennes, who didn't make it into the film. So that's quite an outtake. But yeah, I mean, it's not particularly funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the time because we filmed for 3 weeks and then it didn't end up in the film. Apart from there's a little flash when I think flashback when Lily's running slow motion away from Voldemort to protect Harry, which is used in the film. But yeah, we filmed loads of stuff. So that's some serious outtakes as far as I'm concerned. Regarding pranks, I don't know. I didn't feel that I needed. I was in a position to do pranks, but I think he was.
No pranks. No Sirius is very mischievous. I wasn't that much. I mean, I lost a couple of lines on the cutting room floor. We did quite a lot of, probably similar to you, in terms of just filming kind of lots of coverage and lots of things that they could then chop up and use in the final film. So we had kind of longer scenes, especially the second one where we're kind of chasing after. I think in the film it just looks like we sort of pushed over Snape and Lily. But in reality, we were like chasing another Slytherin student, and there was a few lines of dialogue and bits and pieces which never really went anywhere. Though I have to admit, on the first take, we were sort of running halfway down this corridor, and then Alfie, who played young James, immediately tripped up and fell over flat on his face. And we were like going, oh dear, that's not a good start. In terms of we were then having to do this over and over again all day. Luckily, he was fine, but that was probably the biggest, I guess, blooper you'd have on set. I mean, the other thing was that obviously in the book there's a whole quite long scene in the Princess Tale chapter where sort of they all meet on the train for the first time, and that was interesting because I think that was what a lot of people assumed the scene would be in the film. But that was actually, I don't think it was we never shot anything, but they did script it for the audition. So in the audition, I had to do that scene from the book in a full kind of screenplay way. But yeah, we never shot it, it never went any further, which I don't know if it was just for that purpose or if they had greater plans.
The worst prankster in the world was Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore. I worked with him in the theatre, and he's legendary. And I think there might be something on YouTube where he has a fart machine, and all the boys are sleeping in the dorm, and he has to walk through a Snape, and he lets this fart machine off. I mean, he's just, you talk to any actor who's been around a bit, and he's about the naughtiest actor you could ever come across.
I shot for one day, is the reality. We had a rehearsal day and then the shoot, but Michael was there for that scene, and I'd known Michael from sort of years before, and he saw me and he said, "You get around, don't you?" 5 sugars in his tea, Michael Gambon. As I said, mine was all very quick, and it was something that was sort of worked out to the finest degree of what we were going to do. Hence that sort of double take that I do to Alice. I would have quite liked to have shot the St. Mungo's scene, and I suspect that in the upcoming HBO show that will be included, and whoever gets to play Frank, I will find. And I'll just leave it there.
Even just to be specific for Harry Potter, like, it was just a dream come true, even just to audition. And that was maybe one of the reasons I got it, is just like, I was very clearly a fan, and I was also very clearly, I wasn't expecting to get the role at any state of the auditions or the recalls. Like, even in my recall, I was saying to Adrian earlier, I asked David Yates for his autograph, which, you don't normally do. That's not good advice for actors in auditions. But I was like, I wasn't expecting to get cast, because I never read the books and was like, I'm young Sirius Black, that's who I should be. So honestly, it was just such a surprise that I could just be a kid and sort of play along with it. And maybe that's where the acting was quite fun for me, is there was no pressure or stakes, just whatever was happening was what was happening.
Blimey. Well, I have to say that when I was a kid, I grew up in a place in England, Stoke-on-Trent, and the idea of being an actor, if I'd have said to my mum and dad I want to be an actor, you might as well have said I want to be an astronaut. It was so ridiculous, and I had no point of reference. I didn't know any actors, I knew nothing about it, I didn't know how to go about it. It wasn't even I wasn't even interested in it. What am I talking about? The only thing I was any good at, debatable, was drawing. So I pursued art, and long story short, but I did a creative arts degree, undergraduate degree, where art was my main subject, but I dabbled in music and dance and drama. And I happened to meet a funny cocktail of crazy characters who were incredibly creative. And we sort of sparked off each other, and all of a sudden I caught fire with it. I loved the idea that, art, when you're doing your art, it's quite a solitary enterprise, really. But acting, it's social, you're using your emotions, your body, you're using everything. This is without getting too clever, this is your palette, these are your colors. This is your canvas is just, it felt very visceral, and I just loved it.
My father died when I was 12 years old. 2nd of April 1988. My mother came downstairs. It was a Saturday. We just finished for Easter break, at school for Easter break. My mother came downstairs and said, I'm so sorry to tell you your father's passed away. Using the term passed away as a euphemism for dead, which is what happened. That was in the morning. And if you've ever sort of had anyone that you love die, you'll know that it's a very, very odd time, the day itself. People come to the house, family members arrive, it suddenly becomes a very busy day. So there I was in the afternoon, sort of lost in my grief, flicking through the 4 TV channels we would have had back then. And by flicking through, I mean standing up, walking over to the television and turning the channel. I'm that old. And I found myself watching this black and white movie that was released in 1950, and it was called Francis and starred Donald O'Connor, who is famous for that Make 'Em Laugh song in Singing in the Rain. And it's called Francis, and Francis is a talking mule, a talking donkey, and I'm watching this thing, lost in my grief, and I found myself laughing. And I thought, I caught myself, the worst thing I could ever imagine has just happened. My life, I am fully aware, is now different from my peers. You know, I've lost my idol. How am I laughing? And that was the spark that I realized years later, that was my epiphany. I want to do that, because this thing that was made 25 years before I was born took me out of my grief. I thought, if I can do that, take someone out of their grief or whatever they happen to be going through, even for a moment in time, surely that's a life well lived.
Thank you all for coming. Let's give a round of applause for our guests. And Rowan, Adrian, and James will be over in the Twisted Teapot. That's our new cafe this year. See you there. Thanks.
Inside the venue this year is where they're doing the meet and greets, which they have all 4 of them in here, so we're going to go in and meet them. God, look at that toe.
Yes, exactly.
That's ridiculously big.
Yeah, this is her.
What's in there? Oh, a tarantula. This lady has a python. I can skip right past that. I don't want anything to do with that. Want to touch it? I don't know that I want to touch it.
She feels amazing. She's not slimy.
I'll touch it if you touch it.
She feels like a basketball. Like a lot of people. She's so bad.
Yeah, just touch right there. You don't have to go anywhere near the head.
Like, snakes get a bad reputation, but they're pretty cool.
They go rogue.
Yeah, sometimes they get hungry when they're out working and you need a snack, you know what I mean? Especially this time of year, delivering Christmas packages and stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot.
How much does the one?
He probably weighs 7 pounds. He'll get bigger. He's only born in June, or hatched in June.
What's your name?
Kelsey.
Kelsey. How do you spell that?
Kelsie.
Fantastic. How's your day going so far?
Good. Have you ever been to Ohio?
No, this is my first time, so I'm sort of still getting used to it.
Yeah.
Because I only came in very late last night.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's lovely weather, I'll say that.
Yeah,
It's
surprisingly, it's
are
usually
you,
like...
Are you local to Ironton?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, we're about 4 hours away. We're in Ohio, though.
Okay. Is that sort of north?
Yeah, it's more northern.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
You come 4 hours for this?
Yeah.
Wow, fair play. You come last night then?
Yeah. Yeah, we came last night.
Great. And are you here for today and tomorrow?
Yeah. Yep, both. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, it's really nice. I think it's quite nice because I've only been to, it's my 4th time to America, and the first 2 times was Orlando, and then last year I went to Chicago and New York,
Oh,
and then
okay.
this year it's nice to be sort of in,
Yeah.
is this the Midwest, or is that, no?
Yeah.
Kind of in the
Sort of,
Midwest?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sort of nice to be kind of not in the big cities. It's quite a very
Yeah.
different side I've seen before,
Yeah.
which is lovely. Because I come from quite a small town in the UK as it anyway, so
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so
So, similar to here, I guess.
exactly, yeah, exactly. I think it's similar sort of population size and stuff to Ironton, so yeah, that's really lovely. Fantastic. Do you want another photo?
Sure. Yep. Wallace and James down there. We met them in a previous year, so we're not meeting them again this year, but there they are.
So are you brother, sister?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Are you filming?
He is.
Holy moly. Am I doing 2
one to you or together?
You can do them separate, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Texting no receipt? No receipt?
There you go.
We just got done with the meet and greets, and here's our autographs. Nathan got a set too, and they pretty much look the same, just with his name, but they were all super nice. We met the other two before, so we met these two this time, and they were super nice as well.
Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you all for attending Ironton Wizardfest. So right now I am really excited to welcome to the stage our celebrities all the way from the UK. And that would be Rowan Go to Bed. You know him as Young Sirius Black. We also have Mr. Adrian Rollins. You know him as James Potter. We also have Adrian wants to sit by Wally. He looks at me like he's going to kill me. Going out Wallace Hamad from Fantastic Beasts. And last but certainly not least is Mr. James Payton. You know him as Frank Longbottom. So I'm going to get off the stage. We're going to turn this over all to them. So Mr. Rowan Go to Bed is your moderator today.
Lovely, thank you. I've been volunteered to be question master this afternoon, so we'll see how much these gentlemen regret that in an hour's time. So thank you so much for coming to joining us. Obviously we're going to have a bit of a chit chat for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll open it up out to you guys, so have a think of any questions you're dying to ask us. A couple of questions that I'd love you to answer, you know, as authentically and perhaps for comedic effect as however you'd like. So my first question, which I think all of you will probably know straight away, is: do you know what the Hogwarts motto is? And if so, you know, what might be your guess as to a good Hogwarts motto?
I think isn't it Dicibus Citibus on a Descorium, Descibus Collapsibus Dicky on the floor?
It's close, I think close. Very good. Any ideas, Wally?
Supercalifragilistic. James?
Is it Hagrid?
This is a very bad round of Jeopardy. Anyone want to shout out what the motto is? Never tickle a sleeping dragon.
Never tickle.
See, you're all very close. You know,
Wow, we were really close.
I feel like I was really close.
What is Albus Dumbledore's full name?
Is it Stephen?
It's not Stephen, I'm afraid.
Albus Severus Gorgeous Dumbledore.
Oh, very good. Very good. You are wrong, but I think James has I think clearly got the right answer here.
You'll laugh. It's Professor.
I like that. I'm respecting, respect the qualification there. Anyone want to shout out? Okay. We're going to have one more go.
Albus Kylie Dumbledore.
Imagine if that was true.
I feel like it is true.
So the correct answer is? Very good. Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. What is a mandrake?
I know. It's one of those funny plants.
Great, good. Can you tell us any more about what a mandrake is? What does it do?
If you pull it up, it screams.
Yay! Yay! Let's now, I think it's time to open it up to the audience for your questions. Would you ever be interested in a Harry Potter remake? So we've already talked about, the Frank Longbottom, Adventures of Frank Longbottom. What other ideas would you want to do?
Do they have Gogglebox in America? No. Okay, so Gogglebox is a really good. It's a great idea. They have it in the UK, and basically, there's a camera from the TV looking at the families watching TV, and it's a sort of reality thing, and they have different families. So I think I'd like a series called At Home with the Potters, and we're just like going, oh, that bloody rubbish that is. Yeah.
no, I can't imagine a universe where the Aurors would exist other than the universe they're already in, and I've been cordially disinvited from the rest of it. So now it's a protest vote. No, I don't want to be involved. I do. If anyone's listening, please call me.
I think, sort of, you know, from a personal perspective, in terms of like the long bottoms, it should be in the form of a quiz show, sort of asking the important questions like, how long are their bottoms?
We're done here.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for, so thank you so much for coming. It's been lovely to be here. We've had an amazing time in Ironton. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Come and see us, meet us if you haven't already. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
We love you, guys. Well, we're done today at Ironton Wizardfest. We had a great time. All the actors were super nice. And the Q&As, they answered a lot of good questions, which you guys will see in this video, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching today's video. See you guys next time. Bye.